Stock your spice cabinet. It can help to take you places, both from a culinary perspective and health-wise. Hi, I'm Mareya, otherwise known as the Fit Foodie. I'm a chef, holistic nutritionist, author, inventor, and mom. And I want to welcome you to my podcast. It's called Recipes for Your Best Life. And with every episode, I'm peeling back the onion on fitness, nutrition, health, wellness, and family. The truth is, you're the chef of your life. And for every important pillar, there's a great recipe worth sharing. So every week, we'll explore them together. Think of it as food for thought that you can really sink your teeth into. So join me, and let's squeeze the joy out of this life, because you only get one. Can I get a fork, yeah? We've heard it so many times, and it's become ingrained in us, right? Food is medicine. But really, I want to peel back this onion because of a question that my 14-year-old recently asked me. He said, how did they deal with disease thousands of years ago, before conventional medicine and antibiotics? And I responded, the answer was in nature. Was in nature. But it really still is in nature. I mean, if you think about it, ancient civilizations became masters of using plants and herbs as their remedies because they had to. And pharmaceuticals that we use now are often derived from those medicinal plants, like garlic, onions, turmeric, thyme, black seed, and so many more. And so this is not a new relationship that we have with Mother Nature, but it's one that we need to re-examine over and over again, because in it lies potentially the root of our being able to build our own immunity. Now, being omnivores, we have a lot of foods to choose from, and convenience isn't always in our favor. While it's much easier to roll up to a drive-thru or lean on others to make food for us, we tend to lose our connection with our own nourishment the more distanced we get from the preparation and selection of it. And my friends, there's never been a time where owning our own health has been more important. With the unprecedented pandemic and daily stresses associated with adapting to these changes, our systems may have never been so challenged in all of our lives. Our nervous systems, endocrine systems, digestive systems, lymphatic systems, adrenal glands and systems, and our immune system. Every part of our body needs the support. And I believe it all begins with food. Because food is the fuel to not only give us the life force we need for energy and vitality, but it also helps us to manage stress, helps us rest and sleep, helps us balance our hormones, and helps us to armor up our immunity. It helps us to produce healthy cells that we need to fight infection. And when there's a crisis in any one of these systems, the machine that is our body becomes at risk of breaking down. So boosting our own body's immunity and fighting infection can be found on our plate. When you eat a variety of fruits and veggies, especially those loaded with antioxidants, that is a great step. When you get your full array of essential amino acids from protein, that's a step. When you get good fat, the omega-3s that you need, and the slow-burning carbohydrates to fuel your body, that is a step. And then adding in prebiotic and probiotic-rich foods, they all help to get our gut health in check, and that's a step. These are all steps and literally spokes in the wheel. Hydration is important too. So let's really put this all together into a format that we can apply in our daily, everyday lives. And while there's no silver bullet, I do believe we can take big strides in protecting our incredible bodies from succumbing to sickness. Sitting here and waiting for a vaccine for COVID, I mean, folks, let me just be honest. I don't even think I want to get in line for the first round of that vaccine. Not until it's proven. Not until I've seen that it can actually work. In the meantime, let's look into the medicine cabinet, so to speak, of our kitchen, where we can begin today instead of having to wait and feel like a sitting duck. So here are my top 8 foods for boosting immunity, and they all contribute to immunity in different ways. So make sure that you take notes on this and maybe make your grocery list out of it, or check out our Eat to Thrive program, where I go into these categories in even greater detail and give you recipes that you can use in your everyday to put these into practice. Because it's great to hear a list, but until you implement, it really doesn't do much. So here we go, the top 8 immunity boosting foods. Number 1, nuts and seeds. Why? Because they're rich in lysine. And lysine is a building block of protein. It's an essential amino acid because your body cannot make it. And I talk a lot about essential amino acids in my book. It's a big part of our strategy. You need to obtain it from food. That's the amazing thing about food, is we can't live without it. And studies show that lysine can increase the number of new cells when you've been injured. And that new cell turnover and those healthy cells are so important. It can even potentially promote the formation of new blood vessels. Blood is oxygenation. Oxygenation feeds healthy cells. And lysine can even play a role in reducing anxiety. A study found that it blocked the receptors involved in stress response. That cortisol that gets produced when we're stressed out. And let me tell you, anybody that tells me that they're not so stressed out or anxious these days is lying. Straight up. How can you not? I mean, even the most stoic person has to have a moment these days when they're just like, when is the end coming near? I've had many, many sleepless nights, I'll be honest. And I am full of faith and like to push fear down, but it gets the best of us sometimes. So getting lysine from proteins into your everyday is a smart idea. And you can find them in plant-based options too. It doesn't have to come from animal proteins. You can get them from nuts and seeds. You can get them, from things like cashews and walnuts and almonds and pine nuts and pepitas, those pumpkin seeds. I love to add toasted, chili roasted pumpkin seeds into salads. You can get them from sunflower seeds, pistachios, all kinds of different plant-based lysine-rich foods. And if you have them in your pantry, you can just pop them into everything that you're making. It's such a powerhouse. And the benefit of that is it adds a lot of flavor and texture to your foods too. So stock up on those nuts and seeds in your everyday. Number 2 is yogurt. Being a person from the Middle East, yogurt is a big part of our everyday diet. We eat yogurt in a savory way and a sweet way. In the savory, we make yogurt sauces with garlic, cucumber, and lemon juice, and it's so delicious. It's served with pretty much everything. And we also eat a dab of, homemade jam blended into our yogurt. But what you don't find so much of is these, what I call dessert yogurts, where they may as well just be a piece of cheesecake. And the reason that doesn't work so well is the benefit of yogurt is from the probiotics, and the role of the microbiome in our overall immunity is so significant. Many studies, especially recently, have been done and point to it being all about our gut health. There are a lot of health conditions like obesity and insulin resistance, something called fatty liver disease, and low-grade inflammation that is often diagnosed in people with low diversity in their gut microbiome. And when you have a variety of beneficial bacteria, that probiotic bacteria, it can do the opposite and it can help fight infection in your body. Yogurt is a great source of protein too, and there's a lot of plant-based versions available, which is great. You can find almond yogurt, you can find coconut yogurt. So yogurt made with different types of milks that still have those beneficial probiotic bacteria. Just make sure that it does have a diverse range of bacteria in what you're purchasing. You can even make yogurt yourself. I know growing up, that's something my mom used to make on the regular. And boy, I think I would appreciate it a whole lot more now than I did back then. You can also find probiotic-rich fermented foods in kimchi, sauerkraut, pickled vegetables, raw apple cider vinegar, tempeh, and black garlic. And again, great things to incorporate into your regular eating habits. And I have a lot of recipes where I show you how to use them and create them in my book with the link below here in the show notes. So that's number 2, yogurt and probiotic-rich foods. Number 3 is microgreens. Now let me talk about microgreens and greens in general for a second. These are phytochemical-rich foods. And the great part is that you're getting the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet for your calorie buck. So what that means is they deliver more nutrient density in every bite than any other food that you can find. And with that, you also get all of the benefits of fiber and cell regenerating power. It's immeasurable. It's more than our little minds can even handle. We just don't even know the extent of these phytochemicals. They are so vast. Have you ever wondered, is rinsing my produce with the water that comes out of the sink that I don't even drink enough to really clean it? Well, then you're one of the smartest people I know, because you're absolutely right. It's not enough. That's why we created the only all-natural and patented line of food wash and wipes, and it's called Eat Cleaner. It's tasteless, odorless, and lab tested, and it removes up to 99.9% of the residue that water can't, including pesticides, wax, soil, and junk that can carry bacteria that can really make you sick. Plus, we formulated it to help extend the shelf life of your fresh produce too, and that'll save you money. When your berries are lasting up to 10-12 days, you know that's a good thing. It helps your produce last up to 5 times longer using a natural blend of fruit acids and antioxidants. So there's no chemicals. It's just clean eating fun. And this can help save your family an average of over $500 per year. Make it easy on yourself, reduce waste, and get that fruit and veggies into your body, where it's going to do you a lot of good and not in the trash. Check us out, eatcleaner.com, or head to our Amazon store at amazon.com/eatcleaner. But what is really cool is that microgreens, which are basically the premature shoot of the plant, and it grows in just weeks. And so that makes it very sustainable, and it's easy to grow indoors in climates where, growing outdoors may not be as conducive. That they can be up to 40 times more potent in these phytochemicals than even their mature counterparts, according to a study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry. And the fun thing about this is you don't need to chop them. You can just wash them with Eat Cleaner and layer them onto your salads, your sandwiches, your wraps, your bowls, into smoothies. And they just incorporate so beautifully because they're small and their texture is fine. So it's not like chopping up a big stalk of, something large that you need to process down. And they can easily be hidden or tucked in for your more picky family members. And I love the spicy ones, like the radish sprouts or like daikon sprouts. They are so flavor packed and just a little bite goes a long way. So the truth is, small can be powerful, said by yours truly. And you can